Right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostle elders of Great Millstone who rule well. And salutations to all you brothers out there pushing this word in love, truth, sincerity, and humility. Once again, it's the brother Shati from the Chicago camp coming back to you with what I hope is another quick and edifying sit down. And I'm not sure how I'm going to entitle today's lesson, but it's along the lines of it's a lot worse than what we thought. And this is pertaining to the lack of babies being produced by the nation of bad Uncle Esau, who is the so-called white man. All right. And the thing that's most shocking about this video is that this was done 10 years ago. And to prove that, push down on this arrow, and it says published on May 30th, 2009. And the thing is, a lot of the numbers that we're talking about today, they're the same numbers that they were referring to 10 years ago. So if 10 years ago they were talking about the numbers that we hear today, then what are the true numbers as it pertains to the lack of babies being produced by the nation of Edom? But without further ado, we're going to let this video play, bring out some scripture, and close it on out.
To research. In order for a culture to maintain itself for more than 25 years, there must be a fertility rate of 2.11 children per family. With anything less, the culture will decline. Historically, no culture has ever reversed a 1.9 fertility rate. A rate of 1.3, impossible to reverse, because it would take 80 to 100 years to correct itself. And there is no economic model that can sustain a culture during that time. In other words, if two sets of parents each have one child, there are half as many children as parents. If those children have one child, then there are 1/4 as many grandchildren as grandparents. If only 1 million babies are born in 2006, it's hard to have 2 million adults enter the workforce in 2026. As the population shrinks, so does the culture. As of 2007, the fertility rate in France was 1.8, England 1.6, Greece 1.3, Germany 1.3, Italy 1.2, Spain 1.1. Across the entire European Union of 31 countries, the fertility is a mere 1.38. Historical research tells us these numbers are impossible to reverse. In a matter of years, Europe as we know it will cease to exist. Yet the population of Europe is not declining. Why? Immigration. Islamic immigration. Of all population growth in Europe since 1990, 90% has been Islamic immigration. France, 1.8 children per family. Muslims, 8.1. In southern France, traditionally one of the most populated church regions in the world, there are now more mosques than churches. 30% of children ages 20 and younger are Islamic. In the larger cities such as Nice, Marseille, and Paris, that number has grown to 45%. By 2027, 1 in 5 Frenchmen will be Muslim. In just 39 years, France will be an Islamic republic. In the last 30 years, the Muslim population of Great Britain rose from 82,000 to 2.5 million, a 30-fold increase. There are over 1,000 mosques, many of them former churches. In the Netherlands, 50% of all newborns are Muslim, and in only 15 years, half of the population of the Netherlands will be Muslim. In Russia, there are over 23 million Muslims. That's 1 out of 5 Russians. 40% of the entire Russian army will be Islamic in just a few short years. Currently in Belgium, 25% of the population and 50% of all newborns are Muslim. The government of Belgium has stated 1/3 of all European children will be born to Muslim families by 2025, just 17 years away. The German government, the first to talk about this publicly, recently released a statement saying, "The fall in the German population can no longer be stopped. Its downward spiral is no longer reversible. It will be a Muslim state by the year 2050. Muammar al-Gaddafi of Libya said, "There are signs that Allah will grant victory to Islam in Europe without swords, without guns, without conquest. We don't need terrorists. We don't need homicide bombers. The 50+ million Muslims in Europe would turn it into a Muslim continent within a few decades." There are currently 52 million Muslims in Europe. The German government said that number is expected to double in the next 20 years to 104 million. Closer to home, the numbers tell a similar story. Right now, Canada's fertility rate is 1.6, nearly a full point below what is required to sustain a culture. And Islam is now the fastest growing religion. Between 2001 and 2006, Canada's population increased by 1.6 million, 1.2 of those immigration. In the United States, the current fertility rate of American citizens is 1.6. With the influx of the Latino nations, the rate increases to 2.11, the bare minimum required to sustain a culture. In 1970, there were 100,000 Muslims in America. Today, there are over 9 million. The world is changing. It's time to wake up.
And there you have it. Now, I know they say Muslim. I'm pretty sure they're interchanging that word for the Arabs or the nation of Ishmael. All right. But as you could clearly see and hear from this video, the numbers that we were talking about now, today, about the nation of Edom only producing about 1.8, and you saw in Spain it was 1.1 in other countries. Hey, if those are the numbers that we're talking about today, but they were talking about these numbers 10 years ago, imagine what the real figures are. The nation of Esau, Edom is done. It is completely done. We're going to go to Obadiah. Obadiah 1. I'm going to start from the first verse. And it says, "The vision of Obadiah, thus saith Yahweh power concerning Edom," who is the so-called white man. "We have heard a rumor from Yahweh, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised." Because not only is the nation of Edom being made small as far as name and reputation, because they are the wicked, thus saith Job 9:24 and Malachi, the first chapter, okay? Not only are they being made small as far as name and reputation, but Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is literally making them small as far as a number in a nation, okay? And it says, "Thou art greatly despised." You saw that the video said that they were, the highest rate was 1.8, and every single European nation has a birth rate under 1.8. Most of them were fluctuating around the 1.3 mark. All right. And there's a similar one to back that up, because there's a similar one in Jeremiah. Okay. I believe it's Jeremiah 49. I want to say it's 15. And it says, I'm going to start at 14. I don't know, whole Jeremiah 49 is good. I'm going to start at 13. It says, Jeremiah 49:13, it says, "For I have sworn by myself, saith Yahweh, that Basra, that's the capital city in Egypt. I mean, not in Egypt, of Edom." I was thinking two things because America is the modern day Egypt, but nonetheless, saith Yahweh, that Basra shall become a desolation, a reproach, a waste, and a curse, and all the cities thereof shall be perpetual waste. I have heard a rumor from Yahweh, and an ambassador is sent unto the heathen, saying, Gather ye together, and come against her, and rise up to the battle. For lo, I will make thee small among the heathen, and despised among men. Okay, so you got Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai telling Jeremiah that this is a prophecy that I promise is going to come to pass regarding the nation of Edom. Okay, and he said one of that part of that prophecy is he's going to make them small amongst the heathen. All right, and how is that happening? With them not being able to produce enough babies to maintain their nation of people. Okay, everything from infertility to the opiate scandal, to suicides, to deaths of despair, to homosexuality, bad economy, lack of morals. All these things are contributing factors that make it so that the nation of Esau, Edom, are not producing babies like they used to. And because of that, the Most High is making them small, and he's killing them off. Okay, the same way that he did our people during the time of the Dark Ages. Because you have to remember, the Most High said, we're going to get Deuteronomy 30. These are all, super basic scriptures, but you know it applies. Deuteronomy 30:7. And it says, And Yahweh thy power will put all these curses upon thy enemies, and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. And one of the curses that the Israelites were put under during the time of the Dark Ages was the bubonic plague, or what people call the Black Plague, or sometimes referred to as the Black Death, which greatly reduced the number of Israelites over there in Europe, because we were being wicked as hell. All right, and you have to think, if the Most High put this curse and this plague on his own people that he loved, how much more the wicked, the nation of Esau, Edom. All right, this is the reason why you're starting to watch a lot of these videos with these so-called Edomite supremacist rants. This is why you have these incidences where Jake's getting beat up in the street. This is why you have these Edomite militias, these Edomite supremacist groups coming out and yelling and doing all type of racist rants, because deep in their heart they know that this is happening. They are scared, petrified. They know that even though they don't believe in God, they believe that something is happening right now in this very world that they cannot control. It's far beyond their control, and that eventually they're going to wake up one day and be extinct. Which eventually is true, but it's not going to happen this way. But you can definitely see how Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is working his beautiful magic upon the nation of Edom. Okay, as I said before, if the numbers that we're talking about now were the numbers back then 10 years ago, imagine what it is now. You probably have nations that are in different countries at 1, 0.8, 0.5. Now, technically, we know you can't have like a 0.3, 0.5. You either have a whole human being or you don't. But this probably means that out of every 10 Edomite heterosexual couples, you may only have one of them that are having children. Hey, man, as I said before, it's a whole lot worse for bad Uncle Esau than he could have ever possibly imagined. Hey, call halal Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostle, elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and salutations to all you brothers out there pushing this word in love, truth, sincerity, and humility. With that, we're going to say Shalom.